When was the last time that you purposely got up and went outside to get sunlight? And especially this time of the year, it's December right now. It's probably not something that's high on your priority list, but it's probably one of the best hacks that you can do to help your sleep, help performance, help for fat loss, help for mood, energy, so many things that light is vital for. And we say sunlight, even though it's a cloudy day, they're getting rays come through the clouds, actually can go through our clothes and through into our skin and affect our bodies. And we're going to talk about that today. And I'd like to welcome you here to LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, we elevate our health, and we evolve in mind and body. And one of the ways we can elevate our health is by taking advantage of sunlight. So let's talk about that today and see how we can benefit. I'm going to tell you my goals, and hopefully you get the point of how important on a daily basis it is, even just 10 or 15 minutes. But let's dig in. You know, most people spend 90% of their days indoors and then wonder why they're tired, anxious, inflamed, not sleeping well. Well, the truth is, sunlight isn't just nice, it's a biological requirement. And that's what, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to discuss that today about how vital sunlight is for us to have a good health span and longevity. And we're going to talk about some things that how sunlight is essential when it comes to things like our metabolism, hormones, immune system, and our long-term health. I'm going to start off with some information that I saw recently on a podcast. Dr. Roger Sahalt, if I'm saying it correctly, with some fascinating information regarding sunlight and health. And then just break down some basics of things that we want to know, things that we want to do. Now, first of all, I didn't realize this. I knew basically that I love the sun, and the sunlight is good for us. It benefits our mood. I actually enjoy being outside, getting a tan, but there's so many other factors that sunlight is critical for. And there's many different rays that we get from sunlight. I'm not going to attempt to butcher them because I'm not a scientist, and some of the things I talk about, I'm not a doctor, not a scientist, so I'll do the best I can to get through it. Just to give the basic idea, I encourage you to look up. There's a number of individuals who are very knowledgeable when it comes to sun and its benefits and the scientific breaking down different aspects of it. I'm going to give you hopefully the easy version that'll just kind of pique your interest. That's what I want you to do, to see that it's a free blessing, it's a free hack, it's something that we have access to, because when we're talking about sunlight, obviously when the sun is out, that's getting the full benefit, but even on a cloudy day, the rays still can penetrate and we're getting benefits from them. That's what I want to talk about specifically. He talked about infrared light, and some newer research shows that not only can the infrared light, obviously it comes through the clouds, but it can go through our clothes easily and through our skin into our cells. So it can have a major impact on our health in that it penetrates into our body. And some of the information that we're going to talk about is a little controversial, because I'm sure you've heard this. A lot of people treat the sun kind of as the enemy, kind of like the boogeyman, that it's going to do bad things to you, and that's why they kind of have you hiding inside and wearing all sorts of different protection, whether it's clothes or creams to protect you from the sun. And there's some validity in the sense that we never want to advocate sunburn. That's not good for anybody. So we're not advocating sunburn. We're not advocating staring, looking directly at the sun. But there's so much information coming out, and even just common sense, to help us see that we need sun. We need sun to touch our skin, and we do need sunlight to hit our eyes indirectly. Not, again, we're not staring at it. We don't want to, potentially could ruin our eyes if you actually looked at the sun. But so many people, I've mentioned this in another pod or video, that we were away in Mexico, and people from morning till night have their sunglasses on. And obviously, if you're out for 8 hours at the pool or at the beach, yeah, it might not be the best to have it off the whole time, but wearing it the whole time, you're missing out on a lot. And I know sunglasses may be cool, but if we're looking for our health span, we want to get the most benefit. So, talking about the ultra or infrared light, rather, the rays that we get from it, actually, they can affect our mitochondria in a positive way. But some of the theories of aging have to do with our mitochondria that get damaged through time and aging and different factors in this world, from pollution and all sorts of things. And mitochondria can have a major impact on our cardiovascular health, metabolism, things like dementia, diabetes. So, having the sun be able to penetrate and affect our mitochondria can have a positive effect in a lot of these areas. Now, obviously, the research is still going, but for a long time, individuals have known that sunlight has helped individuals with various health conditions. So, we want to get outside. Definitely want to get outside. And it's not that you have to spend, talked about if you're on vacation, you're out for a long time, but on a daily basis, you don't have to be outside for a super long time. A lot of times, just breaking it down into smaller chunks, like morning light, is valuable in helping to set our circadian rhythm. And certainly that'll lead to better sleep at night. So 10 or 15 minutes in the morning, trying to get sunlight in the morning. There's almost zero risk of getting burned in the early morning sunlight. So that shouldn't be a factor or a fear. And it's going to have long lasting consequences in a good way. Also, maybe at lunchtime, most people get a 15, half hour, 45 minutes, somewhere in there to get a lunch break. Can you go outside for 10 or 15 minutes of that? Definitely that would, again, enhance our health if we do it on a consistent basis. And just along those lines, right now it's December, so not getting a lot of sunlight in the sense of what we're thinking, but the sun is always, even when it's cloudy, we're getting a lot of different rays that come from the sun and benefits from them. So my new goal is, instead of hiding inside for the winter, definitely going to get outside. I've done it several days already, and that's my goal, unless it's blizzarding or 0 degrees outside, to go outside for 10 or 15 minutes on my lunch break. And then on the weekends when I'm home, to get outside at least for that 10 or 15 minutes, to let the rays of the sun through the clouds, through my clothes, hopefully have a beneficial effect on my long-term health. When you think about it, a lot of folks in the wintertime, I just had a recent video that I talked about these things, seeing that how it affects your mood. There is something called SAD, or in the wintertime, people are affected by this. SAD is the acronym, but not getting sunlight, and people get depressed. So there's a real feeling that we get when we're outside and see the sun. Even if we're seeing it from inside and looking out the window, it just feels better when there's sun. And that's another aspect that many, when we say we're inside and you're looking out the window, it's not the same. You might get a little mood enhancement from it, but the windows in our cars and our houses and office buildings are blocking out important rays from the sun. So that's why it's very important to actually get outside to get some of these rays. We're not going to get them from being on the inside. And even other things, I mentioned this in a previous video, that I only recently knew. Other people have heard this. I guess I'm behind the times, but people who are in the hospital, if there's two individuals in a room, statistically, whoever is by the window, and again, depending on what kind of health conditions people have, seem to always get released faster more frequently than the person that's on the inside and not getting the light from outside. Some people want to dismiss things like that, but through history, if you go back to a few podcasts that I listened to and you go back, sunlight has proven to have numerous benefits on people's health and recovery. Going all the way back, one of the examples was the Spanish flu in the early 1900s. Even back then, they saw a difference of people who were outside and were able to get outside, and health benefits during that time where so many people died or were severely sick. And other cases too, even during COVID, there's some anecdotal stories, I guess they would be. They're not published studies, but showed the benefits of getting outside. Obviously, we know for vitamin D is critical to get sunlight. You can get some through supplementation, but you're not getting all the benefits or getting exactly what you need by just supplements alone. And that's why it's good to we want to get the sunlight on our skin if possible, or the rays at least. And when you go on vacation, obviously we're not working, so we feel better, less stress. But whether you're by the ocean or wherever you are, more sunlight totally affects our mood and how we feel. And we usually feel way better, more energy, want to get going and doing things. So the sunlight has an important direct benefit on that. So not only morning, but midday, that can help support our immune system, muscle recovery, bone health, even might help reduce insulin resistance. Something that we talked about in a recent video, nitric oxide. Sunlight helps boost that, and nitric oxide is something that as we age, generally by our 30s or 40s, it begins to go down as far as how much we're able to produce on our own. So this kind of gives us a fighting chance. And the way I like to think about it for the expression I've said before, to move the needle in our favor. Most of the things we do, it's not like we're here and we start doing some hacks or doing different things and all of a sudden the needle's going to fly over. But just giving us a fighting chance and moving it, to me, it's kind of like a tug of war. And aging is going to move the needle against us, just aging itself. But then there's stress in this world. There's pollution, different chemicals that are in everything. So there's so many things that are against us that are trying to push the needle the other way. So any little thing that we can do, whether we talk about exercise and movement, proper rest and sleep, or nutrition, what we're eating, well, even the sun, getting sunlight, can it at least hold it at bay in this tug of war where it's trying to push on us, but doing these things, we're keeping it at bay and maybe even moving the needle in our benefit. So that's why it's important to consider these areas. I encourage you to do research on it. There's a lot out there. It's free. I'm going to go back to that. It's free. And even with time, one of the things that I read about it, it's not like we're taking time away from something else. Or we're trying to find new time. We're filling our days with something. So can we incorporate 10, 15 minutes a couple times a day? And the benefits, there's other benefits, because when you're outside, you're able to get fresh air. And we might think, well, there's pollution out there, but again, more research shows that even the air outside is still better than the air inside. So we're getting a better quality of air, depending where we live and where we are. It might be negligible, but we're getting better air. And if you're outside, there's a good chance you might be moving. Maybe you're going for a walk. So it's a trifecta there. You're walking, getting movement, exercise, getting fresh air, maybe breathing better, and you're getting the rays of the sun. So it's a win-win for us. So definitely want to keep that in mind. And some more practical ways to get that is some people take their lunch outside. Even if you're not going to be walking or doing that, Can you sit at a picnic table if it's warm enough? Obviously, now where I am in December up north, we're not going to be sitting outside at a picnic bench eating lunch, but still after I eat lunch, I go outside and talk to my wife on the phone as I'm walking in the parking lot. That's when spring comes and summer, I'll be able to do other things, but for now, just walking around the parking lot and getting the rays of the sun, even through the clouds. So combining different things, it's simple, it's not complicated, but it's going to benefit us in the long run. Now, some other mistakes you want to avoid when it comes to sunlight, as I mentioned, especially in the morning, if you're going to try to get the morning light for your circadian rhythm, for getting better sleep, you don't want to wear sunglasses. Now, when you're driving in the car, the windows of the car are already blocking out a lot of the important rays, so it wouldn't matter there, and you want to be able to see the road properly, so sunglasses are definitely approved then. But even when we're outside, even on a sunny day, you don't have to sit in the sun necessarily. There's other information that shows that it can reflect off of plants and bushes, trees. So even if you're just sitting outside, maybe in a shaded area, you don't want that much sun on you, you're still getting the benefits reflecting off of other things. So that's something good to keep in mind. And then again, putting on SPF blocks, all kinds of sunblock. If you're going to do that, be extra cautious because there's many out there where you'd have to do your research to see what kind of chemicals are in these SPFs. You might be doing as much damage rubbing chemicals into our body as you are trying to protect your skin from the sun. And there's a lot to be said on that too. That's why some of it I don't want to go into. It's controversial, and I'm not a scientist, and I would butcher the science trying to tell you some of the things about that. But that's something you want to keep in mind, and don't think that you can stay indoors most of the day and cram it all into one big window. It's kind of like you're not going to work out all week, but Saturday you're going to put in 4 hours of exercise and movement and working out, trying to make up for the week, and that's not how things work. Most things work in small packages on a consistent daily basis. So that's how you want to look at it when we're talking about sunlight as well. So sunlight can definitely help our health span. There's a lot more I'd like to say. I don't think I would say it good enough or clear enough in a scientific way. So I encourage you to look up Dr. Roger, Scheult, I believe is how it's spelled. I mentioned another person, Dr. Alexis Cowan. She's phenomenal as well. I would try to look up their podcast and look up their information. They'll have much more to say on it, but try to get outside tomorrow. Try to make it a daily habit whenever you can. Make it a daily habit to get out, get the rays of the sun, even through the clouds. It's free, and you will totally appreciate the benefits, even something we don't even know yet, that you can get from the rays of the sun through the clouds, even through our clothes. It'll truly benefit you. So get outside, and what you'll be doing is you'll be elevating your health. And we want to elevate our health. We want to exert ourselves. We want to involve in mind and body. So I hope you do that. In the meantime, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe. And as I get more information and I try to say it in a more eloquent way, a more clear way, I'll bring that to you as well. But thanks for watching.